Sergeant Cody Wallace, United States Marine Corps. Kathy Owen, Cleveland CPOA. Yes. Warrant Officer Sheets, Cleveland Naval Sea Cadet Corps. Command Master Chief Buckman. Branch 17 President Ed Blind.
Yeah, you can just put it in the chair somewhere. Color guard. Post the colors. All rise. Two. Shipmate and friends, we pay tribute to our departed shipmates. We first invoke the blessing of God. Uncover. Our Heavenly Father, we humbly beseech Thee to accept our devotions with Thy hand at the helm. May we navigate a true course of service and loyalty to Thee, our country, and our shipmates. Amen. Cover. Ship, please be seated. Shipmates, we have gathered here in tribute and respect to the earthly memories of those heroes in the sea, under the sea, in the air, and upon the land, who are now serving on the staff of the Supreme Commander. They sailed through life's cruise, meeting their share of favoring winds and adverse tides. Their ship coming to its final anchorage at a harbor still unknown to mortal man. We do not know the waters there, but we know the course to steer. We believe that our shipmates set their course by the beacons given us and have reached that harbor safely, and are now on the muster roll of Supreme Command. Many gave their lives in battle that they might leave behind a land still free. Many spent years building a strong defense of the shores of this country, ready and willing to give their lives in defense of the country for which our fathers shed their blood in making the United States of America. As the years roll on, one by one, we end our cruise. The anchor is dropped to raise from the waters no more. Though our heads are bowed in sorrow for the loss of our shipmates, there is pride in our hearts for the many things they did to keep the record of our country untarnished and undefeated. We who remain awaiting orders feel inspired to do our utmost to live up to the ideal set by them, to leave behind a free country and the stars and stripes, still the standard of liberty. Shipmate Secretary, for whom does the bell toll? I had it here a second ago. There you go.
Shipmate President, the bell tolls for John Harrison, Samuel Vector, Ronald Campbell, Robert Wolf, from Cod Subvest, Ben Tosh, Richard McCarthy, James Pillsbury, and Dominic Arian. I'm sorry.
We who remain to carry on should not think of our shipmates as departed from us, but rather as having been transferred to a celestial ship or station, where we hope all of us may be shipmates again. This tribute reminds us of the reverence we owe our departed shipmates, those who guard the honor of our country. Let us be reminded of the fact they confided in us. Let us who gather here not forget their obligation, and now bow our heads in prayer for our absent shipmates. Our voyage amid earthly joys and friendships, dangers, temptations, and troubles will have Thy hand at the helm. May we, everyone, be protected by Thee, and finally come without shipwreck to a heaven of eternal salvation. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we're going to have a gun salute. So if you want to cover your ears, I suggest it. It can be loud. It might be even startling, but they're not aiming at you. Hand salute. Two. At this point in time, I'd like to have our guests on deck each pick 2 flowers from the vase and cast them into the lake, please. Sarge. Everybody sit down. You're making me tired. I don't know about anybody else, but the cannon chased off the fisherman. That boat left very quickly. I'm here. Everything's getting jumbled up here. I'm now going to introduce our guest speaker for today. He is Bosun Master Chief Matthew D. Buckman. He's from Louisville, Kentucky. He assumed the duties of Command Master Chief, 9th Coast Guard District, in June of 2021. The 9th Coast Guard District encompasses 8 states, 1,500 miles of international border, and a workforce of over 6,000 Coast Guard active duty, reserve, civilian, and auxiliary. Prior to reporting to the 9th Coast Guard District, Chief Buckman was the Command Master Chief at Coast Guard Base Honolulu. Tough duty, but somebody's got to do it. Master Chief Buckman is a native of Louisville, Kentucky, enlisted in the Coast Guard Reserve in 1990. He was assigned to Reserve Unit in Louisville, Kentucky, and advanced to BM3. His transition to active duty was in 1995. And then it got exciting. He was on the USS Midget in Seattle, Washington. He was assigned to Station, Seattle, then assigned to Coast Guard Station Vallejo, California as executive officer. His next duty stations was the the Coast Guard Oracoke out of San Juan, Puerto Rico. Coast Guard Station, St. Joseph, Michigan, as officer in charge. Coast Guard Cutter Joshua Appleby, executive officer, St. Petersburg, Florida. Coast Guard Cutter Crocodile, officer in charge, Cape May, New Jersey. He's a certified small boat coxswain and deck watch officer. He's attended numerous service schools, including the Coast Guard Chief Petty Officer Academy and Coast Guard Senior Enlisted Leader course. He holds a Bachelor of Degree in Communications from the University of Louisville and a Master's of Organizational Management from the University of Phoenix. His military awards include the Meritorious Service Medal 4 times, Coast Guard Commendation Medal, 3 Coast Guard Achievement Medals, 2 Commandant Letters of Commendation, and numerous other personal awards. He's married to a lovely lady and has 2 children. I now present Master Chief Buckman.
Chief Glenn, thank you for that kind introduction. You make it sound a little more exciting than it feels sometimes. But it's all been fun.
They don't know that.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends, thanks for joining us on this spectacular day. We couldn't ask for a better day to pay respects to our fallen shipmates. My name is Matt Buckman. I'm Command Master Chief for the 9th Coast Guard District, which encompasses all of the Great Lakes from Duluth, Minnesota to Messina, New York. The 9th District is headquartered right here in Cleveland and encompasses 8 states, over 6,000 members, including active duty, reserve, civilian, and auxiliaries. Our assets include 10 cutters or ships, 9 of which are icebreakers, like these 2 140-foot icebreakers you see behind us, 47 search and rescue stations, 2 helicopter stations, and a multitude of other units. We work hand in hand with our sister services, including the Merchant Marine, Public Health Service, National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration, and the United States Army Corps of Engineers, among others, to protect and defend the wide array of activities around the globe that ensure the strength and health of the United States. Today is a day primarily to honor the sacrifices of those who gave their lives in service to our nation and to all of us. The challenges they face and the difficulties our service members endured serve as a model we should all strive to emulate. I always find it wise to understand the history of an event before proceeding so. According to the Department of Veterans Affairs, Memorial Day was originally founded following the end of the Civil War as Dedication or Decoration Day. This was a day to honor those who lost their lives in that bitter conflict and to pay respects by placing flowers at the graves of the war dead. Following the end of World War I, the recognition was expanded to include those who have died in all American wars. While many local observances in several locations were held across the country, in 1966, Congress declared Waterloo, New York, as the birthplace of Memorial Day on the 30th day of May, and ceremonies continue to be held in cities and towns throughout the country. In 1971, Memorial Day was designated as a national holiday and shifted to the last Monday of May. Now, regardless of which branch of service we represent, or whether you support someone who served, each of us is here to remember and honor the lives and losses of our fathers, mothers, husbands and wives, sons and daughters, close friends, and fellow warriors. When you think about all the things we honor in today's society, there's no more worthwhile or noble reason to gather than honor those who have put themselves at risk and ultimately gave their lives, ensuring the freedom, security, and prosperity of our country. We gather as proof of their enduring legacies and sacrifices, losses which are not in vain. We must always be mindful also that the legacies of the fallen are alive in the thousands of American service members deployed around the world, standing the watch in often harsh environments and dangerous circumstances. Although I am here today as a member of the Coast Guard, it is important to emphasize that today is about remembering the sacrifices of all members of the armed forces of the United States. Those from our past conflicts and those defending our national interests around the globe today. I'd like to take this opportunity to highlight some noteworthy sacrifices by members of the United States Coast Guard. When most people think of Memorial Day, their thoughts probably turn to members of the Army, Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps. I would suspect, though, few think about members of the Coast Guard. This is understandable. We are a small service, only about 44,000 active duty members deployed across the United States and around the globe, but we have a big job. We are America's maritime guardians, and we wear many hats. Law enforcement officers, sailors, warriors, humanitarians, regulators, stewards of the environment, diplomats, and locally, guardians of the coast and the national treasure we know as the Great Lakes. We are an instrument of national strength in foreign locations, teaching other nations how to effectively manage and defend their homelands and natural resources. Paraphrasing the Secretary of Homeland Security, if there's a difficult problem, throw a few coasties at it, and odds are they'll figure it out. Most people associate the Coast Guard with search and rescue, but we are also a crucial federal first response agency for all maritime contingencies. You'll often find us working shoulder to shoulder with local, state, tribal, and other federal agencies, as well as community leaders, to protect and defend the coastal environment and the people who work and recreate on our waters. When it comes to our national security and military operations around the globe, rest assured that your United States Coast Guard is there, serving alongside our sister services, performing joint operations and responding to threats far afield, often quietly and without much fanfare, but always there and always ready. In fact, since 1790, the Coast Guard has participated in every one of our nation's armed conflicts. As World War I was coming to a close, the Coast Guard cutter Tampa was concluding the successful convoy escort of combatant ships through the English Channel. Suffering a torpedo attack from a German U-boat, the Tampa was lost with 111 Coast Guardsmen and 4 U.S. Navy sailors. During World War II, most American landing craft were crewed by Coast Guardsmen due to their expertise with handling small craft in the nearshore environment. One of our most notable heroes of World War II was Signalman First Class Douglas Monroe. He was assigned to a landing craft detachment evacuating beleaguered Marines from a beach under heavy enemy fire on Guadalcanal in the South Pacific. He helped rescue 3 companies of Marines who were trapped on the beach by intentionally steering his landing craft toward enemy fire, acting as a decoy while the Marines could be evacuated down the shore. Monroe was struck and killed by enemy fire after the last of the Marines evacuated the beach. For those actions, he was posthumously received the Medal of Honor, our nation's highest military award. In Vietnam, the Coast Guard sent our patrol boats and our high-endurance cutters to conduct coastal patrols, interdict illegal shipments of weapons and supplies, and provide fire support to ground forces. Our helicopter pilots flew combat search and rescue missions with the Air Force in the famous Jolly Green Giant rescue helicopters. More recently, you can find Coast Guard units deployed to the Persian Gulf and the Horn of Africa, conducting anti-piracy patrols and theater security operations, ensuring freedom of navigation and security on this critical waterway. On April 25, 2004, Damage Controlman 3rd Class Nathan Bruckenthal from Smithtown, New York, and 2 U.S. Navy sailors were killed in the line of duty while conducting maritime intercept operations in the northern Arabian Gulf. He and 6 other coalition sailors attempted to board a suspected insurgent small boat near the Iraqi offshore oil terminal. As they boarded the vessel, insurgents set off an improvised explosive device. Petty Officer Bruckenthal, on his 2nd deployment to Iraq, died from injuries sustained in the blast. He was the first Coast Guardsman killed in the line of duty since the Vietnam War. Not all wars are fought on foreign soil. The Coast Guard has been the lead agency in the war on drugs for decades. This asymmetrical conflict regularly puts our crews in harm's way. On December 12, 2012, Senior Chief Terrell Horn was killed in action while interdicting a drug smuggling boat off the coast of San Diego. As the smugglers rammed Senior Chief Horn's small boat in an attempt to escape apprehension, Senior Chief Horn placed himself in the path of impact, shielding his crew. Senior Chief Horn's sacrifice saved the lives of the rest of his crew. These are just a few examples of the selfless service and sacrifice demonstrated on a daily basis, not only by the Coast Guard members, but all service members. So, what do I hope you take away from this? I sincerely hope you're inspired to share the stories of our armed forces with your families, friends, and neighbors, because America's military is more than just the sum of its boats, tanks, aircraft, and equipment. These are just tools. Your armed forces are about the people, brave, intelligent, highly adaptive men and women who put their lives on the line for all of us. They are the true heart and spirit of the armed forces, and they carry the legacy of those who have gone before. In closing, I invite you all to take part in the National Moment of Remembrance. Established in the year 2000, this resolution invites all Americans at 3 p.m. local time to voluntarily and informally observe in their own way a moment of remembrance, pausing from whatever they are doing to pay respect to our honored dead. Thank you, Semper Paratus. May God bless and protect the armed forces of the United States. Thanks, sir.
I don't know why he went back over there, because I'm going to get him right back up over here because I got to give him something. So you got to get back up. Come over here. I got to find yours. On behalf of the Fleet Reserve Association, I'd like to present you with a certificate. And we do not have a challenge coin with the Fleet Reserve Association. We got a challenge magnet. So if you put this on your metal telephone or your metal lamp on your desk, you'll be able to look at it all the time. Or you can just stick it in a drawer and forget about it. Whichever comes first.
We'll be front and center. Appreciate it, sir. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Master Chief. Ladies and gentlemen, if anyone would like to come up after the ceremony and toss a flower into the water for someone they remember, they're willing to do it, they can do it. If not, they'll just go back home. Color guard, stand by to post the colors. Post. And salute. 2. Before we finish up, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank the USS Cod and their crew for making that big thing on the other end called a gun go boom. It sounded great. Scared the heck out of the fishermen now. I'd also like to thank all the people that came today and remind them that there is coffee and donuts over in the Burke Lakefront Airport. And I see some people are looking forward to the donuts. And I want to thank all the people that are on the deck for coming today. And I want to thank our head of the Cod for playing the national anthem on his boombox so perfectly. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can all sit down. We're about to depart.
Departing, President Blind, Branch 17. Departing, Command Master Chief Buckman. Departing, Warrant Officer Sheets. Departing, Kathy Owens. Departing, Sergeant Cody Wallace. Again, thank you everyone for attending our Memorial Day service. As Ed Blind said, everyone's welcome over at the airport for coffee and donuts. Thank you.